This is John Paul, right? I'm coming from Tokyo, Japan. Someone's playing piano upstairs, but I think it should be alright. Who knows? Let's get started. Today, I'm talking about Galaxy's Edge, and I got a really funny excuse here why Galaxy's Edge isn't busy, and the excuse goes a little something like this. Have people abandoned the purported happiest place in the world? Of course not. According to the Orange County Register, there may be a few factors beyond the reservation system that have contributed to the apparent lack of bodies. First, the obvious. Rather than hanging out in the rest of the park, everyone is heading to the hot new thing, which is Galaxy's Edge. So, this report was saying that Disneyland is empty, and they were trying to figure out why Disneyland is empty, so they're saying, well, everyone's going to Galaxy's Edge, so Disneyland must be empty. I found that pretty hilarious. And this next one is from dorksideoftheforce.com. They have a Twitter. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel. Anyway, I've heard the name before. It could well be the case that Disney have been so well prepared for the opening of their newest attraction that the park has simply become easier to traverse as a result. So Disney's doing such a good job these days. The parks are empty because people have such an easy time getting around the parks. What a good excuse, guys, at Dork Side of the Force. I'm going to check you guys out. What a reputable source you guys are. What else you guys got up there? Either way, be it conjuncture or otherwise, it's far too early to suggest Galaxy's Edge is a flop. It's far too opportunistic to suggest sequel trilogy backlash is leading to people boycotting Disney parks. Okay, so this is important because I don't think that sequel trilogy backlash is emptying out the parks, but it's contributing to a percentage of the parks being empty. I'm a daddy. I have kids. And if I had my choice, I would not have my kids going to Galaxy's Edge. I say that because, like, if their mother or their grandmother, like, really wanted to take them, the kids are crying, it's hard to control that, but I don't think so in my case. I think in my case, they'll be like, oh, we'll just, we'll skip it, we'll do something else, that's cool, Dad. So I think a lot of dads like me, if they have the choice, are keeping the kids out of it, because a lot of us 40-year-old white dudes who are getting attacked by the media and everything don't like the sequel trilogy. We really don't like it. Matter of fact, we want to stay as far away from it as possible. So that's definitely what's happening partially. Is it 20%, 25%, 30% of the reason? I don't know, but it's definitely part of the reason. So this here comes from February 13th, 2019. Unfamiliar world building is one of the big problems. This was predicted long ago that Galaxy's Edge would fail. Just as Galaxy's Edge will not feature the most popular Star Wars characters, it will not feature any iconic Star Wars locations either. No Death Star, no Tatooine, no Coruscant. Instead, Galaxy's Edge will be set in the Black Spire outpost on the up until now ever heard of planet Batuu, which is, yes, a great way to put it. World building is a commonly used phrase for role-playing games, novels, things like that. It's very important. World building brings richness. It brings familiarity to the story. Did I say that correctly? Okay, anyway. So, it makes the story familiar. And without that, it's just kind of another thing. It's just like a bunch of Star Wars decorations. Hey, go check this out. It has no heart. It has no soul. It has no core. It has no substance. So, high prices are definitely one of the things that are keeping people out. Times are tough. No one's got like, whatever, a couple of $100 for a lightsaber, $12, $18 for a cup of blue milk that probably tastes not quite as good as like a shake you'd get at Burger King or McDonald's or something. And yeah, there's multiple factors. But I think one of the factors the media will never admit is that people like me are staying out of it. And this is the thing about The Last Jedi, is when they call people like me bots, trolls, they say, oh, he's racist, sexist, that's why he doesn't like The Last Jedi. Well, I know there's millions of other people just like me, good people who don't like The Last Jedi, so I don't need to be told that we're bots, because I could just sense how I feel, and I know other people feel like that. And again, just like the movies, this thing's kind of like a bait and switch, you could say. Galaxy's Edge might turn out to be the biggest bait and switch in the theme park history, as thousands of fans spend huge amounts of money to visit the Star Wars of their youth, only to discover that Disney has created an unrelated land that is in many ways Star Wars in name only. Imagine the social media backlash when that word gets out. And yeah, that's somewhat what happened. People went there, everyone's like thinking, imagining what it's going to be. Then when you find out, Like, concretely, there's not going to be so much original trilogy stuff, because there's some. I mean, the Falcon is original trilogy. I guess, I don't know, some droids and a few little pieces, odds and ends left of the original trilogy. But when you find out, like, it's like 90% sequel stuff, you're like, oh, that don't sound so good. I don't know. Then when the, entertainment hacker part of you kicks in, or the fandom menace part of you kicks in, you're like, we ain't going there. We can't support that. And that's it. There goes like your 20% of that audience. And then, here's the other thing. A lot of the people who aren't like exactly thinking like us, who aren't following this, get the feeling. They get the feeling. We get the feeling, we get the information, we've thought out the arguments, and we know, but even people who aren't really watching these videos, following the media, things like that, they just feel something's wrong with Galaxy's Edge, with the sequel trilogy, so I think they're avoiding it. And we've got the proof. It's not like it's a hearsay here and there like the shills would have you believe, and like, oh yeah, it's good. We've got aerial photos that are proof, and they're hilarious. There's like no one there. It's all cleared out. Disneyland is at a historical low, and I'll be 100% honest, I'm enjoying it. We got all this negative crap coming from Disney. Abigail Disney having infighting with Disney, so to speak, about the payroll. Not infighting, she's not actually in the company, but you know what I mean. Little fighting there about that. All negative, and I do not like Disney very much. I like classic Disney. When someone says I like Disney, oh, the old stuff. Cinderella, the movies from the 50s, 60s, 70s, even like when I grew up, like 80s, that's still good. But the Disney now, it's a political mess, and that's why I'm here making videos, because, yeah, gotta voice my opinion about it. You guys let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. If you would, click subscribe. Doing shoutouts, special thanks. Here's some shoutouts at the end of the video. I will see you next time.